Hello and welcome back to Axis and Allies 1942 Online. Here I'm going to be starting my other match 1 game as a part of the A&A Club Teams League. This will be my solo 1v1 versus IVYSHY, who will be playing the Allies and I'll be playing the Axis. Without further ado, let's get on with the game. Alright, here we are, let's get on with the game here. Let's waste no time. Alright, so yes, IVYSHY as the Allies here, and I will be playing the Axis. Already, this is looking pretty rough for Russia here. With a fighter, 3 infantry and an artillery. 3 infantry to the Caucasus. Fighter, artillery to Russia. Yeah, I've got a lot of options here. Do pretty rough start for Russia here. Alright, Soviet Union failed Ukraine, but did not lose their planes. But that is a catastrophic result regardless. The fact that I could stack here with my planes is it's very bad. And then lost 3 in West Russia, which that's either bang on average or below average. I do forget if it's 1 or 2, that is the average loss. But regardless, that's a lot of damage for Russia to take this early on. So yeah, I don't think this start is horrid with this buy. I do think this is you can get away with this buy if Ukraine doesn't fail like this. Yeah, this is pretty rough. I have many options as Germany. I can hit the Caucasus, I can just smack into West Russia. And like, if I win this and conquer, I mean, Russia just has nothing really. The 3 fighters will allow them to trade it back. I'm probably not going to do that, there's no point. Objectively, the game is in Axis favor already. I don't need to make this drastic move into West Russia or the Caucasus, I don't think. I do think this warrants a tank rush. The poor result in Ukraine, when I see that, I do just buy tanks. Stack Ukraine. Very easy, well, Germany can get a very easy G2 West Russia stack. Or G2 Caucasus, or G3 Caucasus stack, right? I assume Russia, I will stack Ukraine, Russia will give up West Russia, stack the Caucasus, and then I'll be stacking here, and then here, G4. G1, G2, G3. G3. That's the timing I'm going to go for. Along with this purchase, yeah, I mean, Russia needs units, in my opinion. I'm not really a fan of a fighter by round 1. I have little experience, but I just think more bodies in the center of the board is just a little stronger. That's just just my opinion, and how I like to play, I guess. If I was to buy a fighter with Russia, I would often do it round 2. Because normally Russia can get, on a good day, right, Russia can get 30 IPC income for Russia. Yeah, roughly Russia 3, Russia 2, you can get 30 IPC, and I might actually use that money to get a fighter, but yeah, this sort of buy doesn't really stop a G3. Not that they can really stop it if I put all my Japanese planes. Yeah, and the fact with this exposed, if the UK does not put a fighter there, I will be hitting that 100%. Enough waffling, let's just get on with the turn. Yeah, no combat, I'm just going to take this. And I'm not going to do any risk. There's no point risking C-Zone 10 because Ukraine wasn't a success. That's the way I see it. There's no point risking Season 7. Just fully wipe it out. And, I guess I do trans still. Do trans and stack Libya. Yeah, I don't require the units to stack Ukraine. I mean, I'll do a quick calculation to see what I would need as a minimum. All right, so I've done some serious consideration here. So the odds on the Caucasus is a 73.7 to conquer. I will have a tank fighter battleship left, with a slight profit of 3 IPC. On our, the overall result of the attacker surviving is an 81. Normally I wouldn't advocate. I mean, I'm already in a winning position, but from the way I see it, I think I can get away with hitting the Caucasus. If I do conquer, then the UK has to try flip it back. My stack in Ukraine has no problem, whether I hit it or not. I just feel like I can take the advantage and try and push forward a bit more with Germany here. Otherwise, if I'm gonna hit Transjordan without sending the reinforcements directly to Ukraine, I have to significantly apply. I have to put 2 fighters here, which I'm not really happy with. I'd rather commit the 2 fighters if I've hit the Caucasus. Yeah, I mean, the idea behind this tank rush is you want to max pressure this. That's why going to Transjordan is a bit counterintuitive, a little bit. I mean, normally you'd want to kill that destroyer. I might actually leave it. Might actually leave it here. Unless I commit an extra plane. Of course, committing the extra plane adds more risk. With 1 plane, it's 78. So I don't think I mind going for this. Normally I wouldn't, but let's try this. Of course, the problem is it could give Russia an in again. It could give them a chance. But besides that, that should be everything. It's just this battle. Whether that AA gun gets hit. If I can conquer the territory, the battleship's safe, which allows me to pull extra units to the Caucasus. If I fail, then the battleship just dies, and the allies just stack the Caucasus. This is probably classed as the win more move, if I'm being honest, but I think I'm happy to take the chance. Yeah, let's just lock this in. Yeah, so we're taking no chances on Sedan 7. It is a strong battle, but the AA gun adds so much variance to it. The overall battle, if I add that extra plane... Yeah, it's a 92% attacker survive and an 82 to conquer. Without sacking a plane, of course. Good luck to the Germans. That's a pretty bad sign. I did kind of need that. Yeah, I think my odds are probably like 63 to conquer now. Oh, wow. Okay. Alright. Yeah, this is a catastrophic result. No hits. And then, yeah, that's absolutely catastrophic. Yeah, well, I'm gonna pull out. Yeah, I knew I should have just played safe. This yeah, well, I suppose yep. It's 92 for you. But yeah, in of itself, this is technically a win more move, and I've been thoroughly punished by it, I guess. This game is probably Allied favored now. We'll see though. I need to calculate my odds on actually holding Ukraine after this retreat. This is abysmal. An abysmal result. Alright, so I've done a calculation on Ukraine. I can't get any better odds than a 60%. So if Russia does decide to take the 30% odd and wins, it's game. It's just game. Yeah. Pretty much. That's a catastrophic loss. But that's the reason why when Ukraine fails, you put units, you put 4 infantry and an AA gun in the Caucasus, because the potential of that result. The Russian sub hits, so yeah, Russian dice on fire still. And okay, we get rid of that battleship. Very nice. Then we miss the transport. Excellent. Not that it matters, but yeah, parody at this point. Yeah, that's yeah, I should have stuck with my gut and just played completely safe. Played boring. Essentially, that's what it was. Play completely boring and safe. But sometimes the most boring move is the correct move. So yeah, I'm gonna do complete standard here. Yeah, put the AA gun here. Interesting. I do want to stop that move. I'm still gonna push forward because if the UK wipe Libya, it allows me options to go for a fast India timing. So we'll see now. I do think this buy after this after this result is going to be pretty strong now. The third Russian plane, if Russia could be left alone, this will help with future trades, right? Russia's going to have very easy time trading. But yeah, right. So I have 7, 5, and 2. Considering he lost absolutely nothing. 10, 2, and 1, and 3. 37. Attacker profit minus 11. Just the way it is sometimes. Does UK do some stupid move on Northwestern? Well, I mean, I would say it's stupid, but the dice overall, the dice at the end of the day do decide the outcomes. It's either that or I just move here. Yeah, I hate giving complete free autonomy to the UK to do what it wants here, and the US to get away with taking Morocco. But to be completely honest, I'm gonna put full pressure on the Caucasus. I'm not really interested in UK getting lucked out, lucking out a Northwestern, killing 2 more of my planes. I need every man forward. I'll switch to keep AA, so that Russia strafing. Well, if Russia overcommits, they conquer, right? Because the AA gun is kept. If he kills all 3 infantry and the AA gun is left, Russia will conquer instead of strafing, right? So if he gets 2 good dice, right, and overcommits, then I can just wipe it out next turn. I'm not going to leave anything in Italy because the battleship's dead. If the Allies leave the battleship alive and the UK does not hit Libya, I can just pull from Libya and Bulgaria, Belgian Congo, and hit the Caucasus afterwards. I just have to make sure Japan like sends every plane to Guangdong, so I can get that West Russia stack. Yeah, submerge. I don't know why it's on bombs before fighters. Submerge, just in case this sub can somehow submerge and live, of course. And yeah, that's it. Yes, so Germany decides to donate fighter infantry and artillery to the Russians. Yeah, completely for free, and the battleship transport for the UK to take out. So, an abysmal Germany won after a catastrophic Russia won. So, this might be a dicey game. All right, well. That's the end of Germany round 1, and I'll be back for Japan round 1. Great. Japan round 1. Carrier destroyer 3 infantry for the United Kingdom. Carrier destroyer to 8. 3 infantry to India. Killed the transport in 5. Took France for 3. Killed the battleship transport, losing a destroyer bomber. I'll take that. Definitely take that bomber. A little bit of compensation considering what happened here the previous round. Wiped Sea Zone 7, losing a destroyer. And then killed the destroyer transport in 61, no units lost. So yeah, not a bad round from the UK. With this fighter being here, it looks like Russia will be stacking it. Do note that, considering how bad this went for Germany, Russia does actually have a 30-ish% odds on a strafe here. So if Russia goes for this and gets like an above average result, even average technically, Germany would be very far behind. So what I'm going to do with Japan here is, I was thinking of doing Szechuan, but I mean, sometimes I do like to go for this just to help Germany out a bit and get rid of these American units, all of them, so they can't be used to trade for Russia in the future. But since I'm already doing a German pressure build on the Caucasus, it's a very good combo for Japan to go for India. Because of the positioning on the board, the Axis on average either get the Caucasus or India. So yeah, I'm just going to do full India pressure, India free timing. Because the UK actually sent units to hold Egypt. And what I'm actually going to consider doing is actually just stacking Germany in Libya to encourage the UK to hit Libya with these forces. If the UK actively hits this, my chances of a J3 India are going to be very good. I do think so. With that in mind, infantry and tank with 3 transports. Yeah, the only problem here is if Russia gets a hit back and then Russia conquers this Russia would then get the opportunity round 3 or round 4. I think it's round 4 to go take Manchuria. That would kind of be, that would be annoying. That really would. So the plan is to send every plane to Guangdong. And yeah, I think yeah, just hard stack Yunnan here. Two, three, four. Yeah, as long as they can all reach Yunnan, pretty. I mean, Guangdong were pretty good here. I'm actually gonna do that. Yeah, all with one more move. Yeah, one more move. So that's... And then this fighter, yeah, will also land. So I'm gonna have, I should have 6 fighters, 1 bomber. And what these fighters do, it allows me to support Germany into West Russia. And actually, before I forget, I want to change my defensive profile here. I want to change it to keep AA. So that if Russia overcommits or gets too good of a result, Russia will conquer instead of strafing. That should be it. I'm going to leave the battleship destroyer here to protect my transports against the 2 fighters. And yeah, I think I can get away with putting the carrier cruiser sub into 48 or 47. Probably 47. So I can try and dead zone the 45 move the Americans could try and do to support India with the extra 3 fighters. Yeah, Yunnan, Anhui, Bury. So yeah, I'm overstacking my planes in these attacks. I just want to one round it, get it over with. Hopefully I don't take too many hitbacks. I could really do with a pretty good Japan opening here. In theory, this should be no problem. Otherwise, I have to sack the carrier off. That would be funny. But yeah. Good luck to the Japanese. Yeah, that seems about right. So it looks like I'm going to lose the carrier here. This is ludicrous. Wow. Yeah, I don't have any words for it, really. I guess I should have committed the cruiser. I should have alled in on it, but... Just bearing in mind that the Caucasus battle was roughly 95% in Axis favored. That battle right there against the cruiser was most likely a 98. So I am just getting diced here. Absolutely ridiculous results. I've not seen dice behave like this, if I'm gonna be honest. This is probably, I mean, even with this, the poor Russia start. I don't normally have dice just swing like that instantly. Yeah, absolutely ridiculous stuff. Oh well, I guess the lesson here is to just don't, I'm the reason I wanted to keep these units back is to dead zone 45, but clearly that is the wrong move because I have okay. Funny dice. Yeah, I mean you have to laugh at it. You really do. I really needed that fighter. I really needed that carrier as well. So just in case of a failed Burma, whatever reason, I can land 4 planes into Season 35. Ludicrous results. So it's just silly. I guess I'll just leave the lone battleship. If the allies want to play around hitting this battleship, be my guest. I'm not giving this up. So 1, 2, we go 1, 2, 3, 4. The fighters can land on the carrier. So if the US insist, they're gonna have to think about committing everything to pull it off, right? All right. Well, yeah. Yeah. So that just happened. Yeah, I welcome that. It's just objectively a stupid attack to do, so I do welcome that. Yeah, I mean, just ridiculous dice. All right, that is the end of Japan round 1, and I'll be back for Germany round 2. Right, Germany round 2. USA 1 bought 2 carriers, a submarine and a destroyer. Everything into Sea Zone 56. Took Wake Island. No units lost. So a KJF from the US. It looks like it will just be the US doing it. Yeah, I was not expecting this. This is a carrier rush. This will be a carrier rush from the US. Trying to dead zone 60 and 62. Next round, I can expect to see a big air buy from the US. No doubt they'll go conquer Iwo Jima and then they'll buy like 4 fighters. They can get like 8 fighters on 60. I don't know if I can stack 60 when it comes to that. I'm not too sure. If I cannot, at the very least, I need to dead zone 60 so that I can then block 60 and then hide in 62 and recruit more ships, right? Yeah, so this will be definitely a tough game, considering both Germany and Japan got diced. I do think this is the perfect opportunity for the Allies to try and pull this off. Yeah, 2 less than 1% results in a row. Yeah, I'm actually concerned the Allies will pull it off here, so I'm gonna have to play slow. I didn't want to play slow. I wanted to push into West Russia this round, but I can't justify ceding the Pacific this early. I need to defend Japan itself because the US didn't suffer any losses. It has a decent attack on Japan itself, so unless I block, of course, which I don't really want to. Russia with 5 infantry, 3 artilleries. 2 and 2 to Russia, and then 1 and 3 to the Caucasus. Taking Bellow 1-1, no units lost. Yeah, so I would say this is actually Allied favored. So this will be a tough game for sure. So yeah, the original plan was to stack West Russia. I can, but I need 4 Japanese planes. If I do that, then the US just dominate over. They just dominate Japan instantly, and I just lose essentially. Me stacking there does not actually get me Moscow anytime soon. So I'm gonna have to resort to a slow infantry push with Germany, I think. At least for a couple rounds, by mass infantry and then buy some tanks. 3 to 4 rounds from now for a push on Moscow time, like a Moscow timing. Well, yeah, my options are quite limited. But yeah, the game is not over, of course. Yeah, so I'll be buying 13 and 1. Mass mobbing. I might try and get a stack going in France. Maybe. But yeah, it's a pretty brutal start for the Axis. UK can already trade Germany down from the west, and the US have pretty good strength to contest the Pacific. So I'm gonna try and threaten India J3. It's not gonna be the strongest J3 in the world because I have to protect myself. But at the very least, Japan will have a bunch of land units on ground, so Japan can maintain its income a little bit. Yeah, so this will be the buy. The idea will be to take France. Take Bellow back. And try and take West Russia. I'm going to be stacking Ukraine with 9 infantry, 11 tanks for a 76. It changes to a 50-50 if the UK attacks first. But if I'm pretty confident if the UK commit to that, I could just send Japanese planes to defend myself. So I do not think that's a worthwhile attack at all. Yeah, I'm going to try and stack West Russia G3. There's a pretty good chance Germany could try to do that on their own with relatively good odds. And it might require 1 Japanese plane. Okay. Let's lock this in. All combats are strong. Good luck to the Germans. Every unit counts, so I'm glad he missed in Bellow. Okay, this is probably going to be a failure. Oh, no, okay. Pleasantly surprised. Right, that's an excellent round for Germany there. After that abysmal G1 attack on the Caucasus, that was embarrassingly bad. Yeah, the AA guns can't move. That's kind of problematic. So I'm going to have 6 and 1 with 2 fighters and an AA gun. I'm actually going to leave it on... I'm actually going to leave it on sack. Actually, I don't need to. No, I want to keep, actually, because if this AA gun can live, then I can put it into West Russia, and I actually get more value if Russia attacks it, so... Yeah, that's pretty good stuff, actually. I should have a pretty good odds to stack West Russia here. Artillery, infantry... Here we are. Alright, that's a much better round from Germany 1, I will say. Yep, keep AA. Yeah, the only problem is... yeah, with Japan, I like to expand. I just can't do it in this game. It's this fleet. Yeah, but yeah, this will be a tough one for Japan. But I have been discussing that this is a carrier rush. It has a lot of attack power initially, but it kind of wears off. So all I need to really do is buy fighters and subs as a counter. I get more subs. I get 2 subs for every carrier purchase from the US. And of course, fighters will be used for my carrier drops for myself to defend myself. So yeah, it's not. I can't do a traditional J3 timing without completely exposing Japan. So yeah, probably subs and fighters. Just to keep him away, and then when he approaches, I can try and carry a drop into 60. Unlikely. But yeah, okay. That's the end of Germany round 2. And I'll be back for Japan round 2. Right. Japan round 2. 2 fighters, 4 infantry, 1 artillery for the United Kingdom here. 1 artillery, 2 infantry to India, 2 infantry and a fighter to United Kingdom, and a fighter to Season 8. Attacked France, losing nothing. And then took Burma, no units lost. Okay, yeah, just infantry fighter. Yeah, it's a pretty big win with just sending those 2 units. That's a huge win. Okay, well... I think the position's looking okay for Axis. I'm gonna go for J3 India. I'm gonna threaten it at the very least. Stack my fleet in 36. Stack Burma with everything. Not the usual J3 positioning. Literally, I have to send everything to Burma just to get odds to stack. Yeah, what is it? It's 78. Minus 17 attacker profit. As the UK, I might consider... As the UK, I'd probably consider strafing. Because there's literally no shock after this point. Of course, it's not a good battle to attack. I don't know, it would be a consideration as if I was playing the Allies here. Just because I've been put into such an awkward position. Yeah, so... Yeah, I'm going to threaten J3 and G4 Moscow. Whether Germany stacks... I think Germany will be stacking West Russia no matter what. I might have to send the odd Japanese plane to help me. But that is a lot of Germans. So, yeah, I'm not sure he can really punish that as Russia alone. Maybe if he does like a max artillery buy, that might do it, but I have J fighters if I need to. The battle for India. Well, let me go over my buy first. I'm thinking of 4 infantry, a fighter bomber, the fighter so that I can desperately drop 2 carriers into 60 if I need to, if I have to stack 60. And the bomber is to apply more pressure to India, because currently, if Russia does not, this is what I mean about I might have odds to pull off G for Moscow, is that if Russia commits their planes and their tank, right? If the Allies commit to an India hold, it will be a 50-50, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. So if I stack Burma, Allies send everything. Japan has a 43%. Not very good odds at all. But the thing is, if Russia does not commit anything, it is a comfortable 97% for Japan to take. So I was thinking, you know, do I get 2 submarines instead? Just for more fodder for my fleet, eventually when I need to stack this area again. But I'm going to go for the bomber because I kind of want to force Russia to be out of position a little bit. And it might open an opportunity for Germany to bring the pound onto Moscow. Because the way this game's going, it might be worth Germany taking a risk on Moscow. I've been in situations where the Allies try and pull this off, and it can work. Especially since the UK's already trained down Germany on the western coast. And keep bringing this up, but at the Axis failure of the Caucasus and 61, that catastrophic result, has given the Allies this opportunity to pull this off to greater effect. This 2 ocean here, or like 1 nation KJF, while the UK just essentially it's just a KJF with just the US. It might be worth Germany taking a risk on Moscow to finish the game. Potentially, I don't know yet. I could probably still play it slow, but yeah, those are my thoughts. Taking India in a KGF as Japan is strong. It's pretty strong. So yeah, I'm just gonna take these territories that are free and hope that he does not get a single hit back in Burma. Now the US could sack for Philippines. That would cause some problems, I guess. But I don't have many options. I'm literally just praying he does not get a hit back here. Is that too much to ask? Yeah, it is. Well, I did calculate with the hit back, so I was praying that, you know, that my judgment would be wrong for once. So I don't assume the worst every single time. Alright, well, yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm just hoping he makes a mistake here. Or he gets dice somewhere. That's essentially what I'm hoping for. Yeah, I don't know. I've not actually calculated my hold as Germany on their own. I really hope I don't need to send Japanese planes. Japan can buy 2 carriers and a fighter, so I can like afford to send 1. If I must, to stack 60. Rather not, seriously. Yeah, just leave it on sack, whatever. UK's not going to be hitting this. Yeah, I guess US takes this for free. That would kind of be a bit awkward. I would have to take it back. But I need something to work for the Axis here. Alright, well, that will be the end of Japan too. Yep, there's no block action or anything like that. Dead zones. Japan is safe. UK has 20%. I'm not going to switch the bombers first, just to keep this bomber safe. If I lose because I don't sack my bomber before my fighter, so be it. Alright, well, that's the end of Japan round 2, and I'll be back for Germany round 3. Alright. Germany round 3. USA 2 for the transport, aircraft carrier, fighter, destroyer, all into 56. Took Iwo Jima, no units lost. Some good island hopping there, no losses. Stacked 59. Sent their fighter to India and 2 infantry here. Move their units up in Africa. Yeah, I mean, Japan should be able to stack that still. If I really need to stack 60. I don't have to. I can go to 62 if I need. The only problem with 62 is there is a block. US could take Philippines and block my fleet, so I really don't want to go to 62. The Russians bought an artillery, 7 infantry, 1 to the Caucasus, 6 and 1 to Moscow. Perfect 1-to-1 trade on West Russia. Yep, sent their extra AA gun down to India and their 3 planes. With that, assuming UK sends their tank down and buys a destroyer, 2 infantry, Japan has a 60-ish% to conquer India. Very unlikely to go for that, especially with the UK most likely going to move this stack to Persia. This is a pretty perfect setup the Allies have got going here, because I can't really push forward into Egypt. It just gets wiped. But before the Germans can stack Egypt, the US is then here to dead zone Egypt themselves. So this will be handled by the Americans. So yeah, this game's going very well for the Allies so far. I'm not liking the Axis position at all. But with the Germans here, I will be getting 13 infantry, 1 artillery. Just mass mob until eventually I can get what I want, which is hopefully the Caucasus I actually have a bad feeling that Russia could actually dead zone the Caucasus on their own. And I would require Japanese planes to help stack the Caucasus. I do feel like this initial failure has had such catastrophic effects. It really has. I do think Russia's going to have the strength to dead zone the Caucasus on their own. I need Japanese planes, but I need Japanese planes to defend myself here. I think it's going to be a very bleak future for the Axis here. I'm not really seeing a path to victory already. That's a very bad sign. Yeah, the Axis game plan. Germany will split Egypt, try and take Caucasus, stack West Russia, take France, and then send as many men to Baltic as possible. Pretty much it, to be honest. That is a must take. This is also a must take. And stack. And I pray that Russia does not get a hit back here. I really do need them to miss. If the UK missed here, that would have given me an extra like 3% odds on India. Yeah, I can't even hold Karelia this turn. I have to give it up. But I'm going to put 2 infantry here. If I then place my fighters, UK just wipes it out. Despite the IPC negative battle, I would take that as UK to get rid of the German planes. Because in theory, the UK can move into 5, no problem. And hit this, and also take France in the same turn. Which is pretty bad, actually, because that means... Yeah, they'd go back, they go to 8. Well, there's no VC play just yet. Till this transport gets in range. Alright, well, yeah, this will be good luck to the Germans. They do need some help here, sure. Yep, France. Yep, Caucasus, all strong. All combats are labeled strong. Well, that gives me a chance to hold on to France. There's always a chance I get a double hit back. Wow, a flawless round for Germany. I definitely needed that. It's not pivotal, but it does help a lot. It really does. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I'm gonna have to make a very difficult decision with Japan, and I don't want to. Need to stop this for at least one more round, so the Germans can get onto the Caucasus. I really do think Russia can use this 21 IPC to buy mass artillery and dead zone it. I don't know what I can do without Japanese planes, and I need all my planes to help my fleet, I think. I'll see what I could do with Japan, but this is pretty bad. I might have to block 60 and then buy subs for 62 and hide my fleet in 61. I think that's the only choice I have, actually. Yeah, because I can leave my planes on my fleet. Not that the US would ever air attack, I don't think. Well, maybe. That's 6. That's 6. Wait, 2, 3, 4. Technically 6 fighters. 1, 2, 4. Yeah, I'll see here. I think that's the move, probably. Destroyer block 60. so I could buy some fodder, a couple subs, and hide my fleet in 61. That's the only choice I have if I want to keep my planes in range of the Caucasus. Yeah, my plane's the only safe spot. Here, unless I go here, I guess it doesn't really matter. Yeah, I want to apply as much pressure to 8 as possible, so the UK would have to consider trying to take both. It's not an easy. I mean, it is an easy hold. 5's an easy hold as well. It really, my aircraft's only 4 planes, so my air force. All right. Ooh, I could shove my AA gun there. That's kind of annoying. The only problem with that, it does invite the UK hitting Baltic to pick off my AA gun and France to pick off my AA gun. But I think it is worth it. It went so well, I should consider putting the AA gun here. Okay, well, yeah, I'll sack off my AA guns then. I do not expect an attempt on Berlin. Doesn't make any sense. All right. Artillery to infantry. There you go. I'm doing this so that the UK has to try and trade it for Russia here. Russia could do inf tank. Unlikely to work out. But yeah, the UK should be hitting this target anyway to remove this recruitment for the Germans. Yeah, I mean, essentially, he's got to pick France or Karelia. I would pick Karelia as the UK. And just take Northwestern. There's no point in risking against France. We'll see what the Allies do here. Good stuff from the Germans. That was a nice round. I definitely needed that. Yeah, well, this is always inflated when Germany has their turn anyway, so I would say the game is even, at least. Alright, there's the end of Germany round 3, and I'll be back with Japan round 3. Alright, Japan round 3. 2 artilleries, 4 infantry, 3 tanks for the United Kingdom, 3 tanks to India, 4 infantry, 2 artillery to the United Kingdom. Took Morocco for 3, took France, killing 3 infantry and a gun, losing a fighter. So I guess I'll take that. I'm very happy with that. I wish I got 1 hit on the ground and it would be more of an even trade, but I shot down a plane, so we didn't get let off the hook completely here. The UK had the choice to either hit Karelia or hit France all in. I think Karelia, I mean, I don't know, maybe Karelia was the better option. Because in theory, Germany can stack France, Karelia, and the Caucasus on a good day. No problem. So, I don't know. Yeah, UK also left Egypt, which I'm a little confused about. I guess, unless this is a complete mistake, the only reason I can think of is that the fact that the Japanese can then retake on their turn. But to be honest, as the UK, I would probably prefer baiting that. Because if Japan actively moves into 34 here, America just dominates the Pacific for the rest of the game, so I don't know. I don't think it's important denying Japan taking this if that is the reason. Or it's just a mistake. So, with Japan's turn here, I'm thinking of 4 infantry, 3 submarines, and a destroyer. I'm relatively fine buying 4 infantry a turn in a KGF style like this anyway. Buying 4 infantry, leaving the AA gun and 2 bombers here is a 91 to hold. In fact, no, it's 98, so I'm not worried about that. I could technically get away with just sending the bombers somewhere else if they're allowed to. Might actually do that. I might actually leave them in Burma, just to have more fodder for the attempt of an Axis stack of Caucasus, which at the very least requires 4 Japanese planes. So I'm really hoping Russia does not do a full artillery buy. Otherwise, if I want to maintain German momentum here, I need to kind of cede the Pacific. It depends on what the US does this turn as well. Maybe the mere threat of the dead zone of 60 keeps the US out for another turn. But yeah. But if the US does go in the sea zone 60, it's a 97.5% for Japan to wipe with a 71 attacker profit. So unless the US is completely happy to try and sacrifice the US fleet, if they are aware that I have to send 4 fighters here, they might go for it. Because without those 4 vital Japanese planes, it is a 50-50 Allied advantage. So I'm not sure what to expect. At the end of the day, in the team games, your allies can add input, so I have no idea what to expect. I don't know, it's tight. It's tight for the Axis. It's not as good as I was hoping, but I'm trying to do my best considering the start the Axis had. I mean, I do forget that, you know, Ukraine did fail. I was just not expecting to get completely ruined by these 2 results. But yeah, so far, I think Ivy's playing a very perfect game. I want to buy these subs for fodder, so that I can, if the US do not stack 60, I have the opportunity to double buy a carrier and, of course, stack it hard, right? In the future, right? Yeah, so India is a 39 for the Axis to conquer. I can't go for that. It's very bad. Even if I conquer, allies can retake. UK can retake, no problem with these planes and these infantry. I will need to have my submarines on submerge, because if the Americans clear 60, UK could try go pick off a sub, so I need to be careful with that. No doubt the UK would go for that, otherwise they just help the US stack in 62. Yeah, this will be the buy. The only combats, there are none. I'm just taking free money. Yep, just take the free territory, stack Burma, stack 61, stack Japan. That's that simple. Blocking 60 stops US taking Manchuria as well. I might move this Japanese unit to Kwangtung, just to have a unit to retake Philippines. Because if US pick up the units and sack for Philippines, I do not think I can move into 60 if there's a boat here, pick up men, and then hit this. So, yeah. Actually, so I just forego this and move back? Japan. I don't mind doing this. The only problem is the tank blitz here, but I mean, that's fine. I can't really stop what's happening to Japan, so to ensure that I can retake Philippines, I'm gonna have to, like, send these two guys back here. Yeah, that tank blitz is annoying. If they kill that unit, I can't kill it back. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's correct. Like, if the US block this, I physically can't pick up units in a combat zone, then hit Philippines. I might have to test that real quick. Alright, so yeah, I just did a test, just to refresh my memory. Yeah, this scenario here, I will be in 61. If I do not have units in Kwangtung, the US can actually just sack their transport to take Philippines, and I cannot take it back without units in Kwangtung. If the US put a blocker in 60, yeah, take Philippines, and I have no units on the coast here. I cannot move into the combat tile, pick up guys, and retake it. So I have to cede Xinjiang. So this tank could actually push there in this KJF and be a nuisance, and there's nothing I can do about it. It's just that simple. But that's a blunder, one hell of a blunder if I did not notice that. That's the good thing about Hot Sea or playing single player. You can test if you're unsure, right? This example is very similar to Season 5, right? Season 5, you plan to do a 1-2 punch, but Germany buys a destroyer, knowing that you, as the UK, will move from 6 or 7 or 8 to come into 5 and pick up UK units on the coast here to hit Germany. Buying a destroyer stops that. That's a very effective move. This is essentially this scenario here. Yep. Yeah, at the very least, I don't know where I was going with that for, actually. Yeah, complete brain fart. Yeah. Not the island. Okay, yeah, see, Formosa, it never gets me, but I just proved it never gets me, because I just noticed it then. So, US... Let's have a look at this doctrine here. Carrier keep. I'm fine with that. It's very unlikely the US is to chew through. Or are they? They do an air raid. I don't know why you'd air raid that. They could. They very much could. I don't see the value. Yeah, I'll definitely save my carrier. If, yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. There's technically 5 fighters on this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Not valid. That doesn't reach. Okay. Yeah, that should be it, right? As long as I block C-Zone 60 and put my subs in there. So, yeah. Make sure to actually change this head of the curve here. And yeah, it's just, yeah, keep that. Submerge defenders within a fleet. Yeah, I completely forgot I could just pull from Burma. UK's not going to wipe the units out. It's super unlikely. But there's actually a weird play. UK could just nuke themselves on Burma, trying to kill all the ground. US kills this, secure that, but that's a lot of IPC. It's a lot of IPC costs just to take this for free. I just don't see that being worth it for the Allies. So much can go wrong. Okay, all right. Well, as long as I'm on submerge, yep, good stuff. Against the UK, I'm fine. All right. Well, yeah. 41 IPC. As long as I can maintain a similar income to the US, I can keep up. I can afford entire rounds of naval buy and a couple infantry every round. But yeah, this is a tough position for Axis, I would say. Alright, that's the end of Japan round 3, and they'll be back for Germany round 4. Alright, Germany round 4. Infantry, fighter, aircraft carrier, destroyer, and an artillery for the US here. Yep. Everything into Sea Zone 56, infantry, artillery to the western United States. Combat, lost an infantry, taking the Caroline and Solomon Islands, so I'll definitely take that. Killed the destroyer in 60, no units lost. And then took Kazakh, no units lost. Move the fleet into 50 and 44. So yeah, there's a combined of 4 carriers and 8 fighters that can sit into 47. I don't think I can dead zone that. Even with all my attack power that I have available. Even with a buy, I don't think it's available. Yeah, so they're definitely going to get in. I'm probably still going to stack 36. Hopefully I can keep an extra 2 fighters on my fleet, so I have the option to air raid the units on the islands to slow down further expansion from the US. And yeah, pretty much try and delay the US as long as possible. Yeah, I've done a calculation on a German Caucasus stack, which is what I will be going for. Assuming the UK suicides themselves into the Caucasus, I do require at least 4 Japanese planes, just to keep the odds like 70-ish% in my favor. And I'll probably have to offer that because I need some dice. Seven infantry for the Russians, all into Moscow. Took back the Caucasus, losing an infantry, and then took Ivenki, losing an infantry. Stacked Moscow, of course. Okay, well, yeah, super unlikely I have any odds on this as it is right now. So the plan is for Germany here is obviously I'm on a time limit with Japan, so I'm going to try and go for a G7 timing on Moscow capture. Yeah, because by G7 it's probably likely that the US will still hold these 2. There are ways where I can delay East Indies for a little longer. But yeah, it's kind of a timing, like normally by in a normal, let's say a normal timing is a G3 cork stack, which was what would have happened most likely if Germany did not get diced in the Caucasus. Most likely I would have been able to stack the Caucasus afterwards, unless the UK flips the Caucasus. Otherwise it'd be G3 West Russia. So yeah, normally it would be a timing of a G3 Caucasus stack, and roughly by the time it is G6 is when Germany would have odds on Moscow, and ideally by that time the US would need to have the island under their control. So I think the Allies are slightly ahead here, definitely, for sure, with this island capture progress and the progress on Moscow. The timing I'm going for includes some of the units in Berlin moving this way to the Caucasus, then Russia. You got G4, G5, G6, G7. That'll be the timing. With that in mind, 9 infantry, 2 artilleries, and 2 tanks. I'm going to get out a couple tanks this turn. The turn after, G6 will be a massive air buy for Berlin, most likely, for the G7 timing. That will be the plan, because in theory I can recruit several units in the Caucasus and Karelia to compensate for no more units going towards Moscow. Yeah, 2 artilleries to Karelia, and the tanks will make their way eventually. If the UK wasn't landing so hard, I would get more tanks. But I want to deny UK just getting away with just taking Italy and offering a 50-50 to kill the cruiser transport. And if he can take out a fighter, that just drastically affects my odds on Moscow for G7. So I want to avoid that as much as I can. Right, well, yeah. This will be the buy. Now, did Russia get a hit back on my West Russia conquer? No, they didn't. Okay. Well, I'm hoping that the artillery does miss. I'm going to try 1 infantry, 1 fighter. Then I need to match France, yeah, and hopefully I do take it. Otherwise, it's catastrophic to my economy. Now, Egypt is interesting because it's been left for me to stack with planes. I'm probably just going to push forward and offer the US to attack it. If I have a spare fighter available, like let's say UK does not hit the Caucasus, then I can actually send one of the planes to actually help support Germany in Egypt instead. Yeah, I was just checking our calculation on France. I have an 81 on a base conquer without sacking the fighters, so that will have to do because I need as much men going towards Moscow as possible here. So yeah, that'll be it, I think. Yep. It was good to me. Yep, strong, favorable, and strong. Good stuff. Suppose I could forego this, but I do want to trade Russia down as much as I can to increase my odds. I just want to kill the units. Alright, good luck to the Germans. Yep, seems about right. Wow, I'm gonna fail France here. Yeah, that's a catastrophic result. Yeah. 82%, by the way. Yeah, that's crushing. Missing out on those 6 IPCs that's an entire tank. I can't make it, essentially. That's catastrophic. And this failing is, yeah, it's just... Yeah, this is not a good... the situation wasn't very good for the Axis anyway. But, yeah, that's abysmal dice. Well, I didn't get particularly bad dice, you just got super good dice. But I guess at least I didn't take a hit back here. I'm going to leave my AAs on keep, just in case the UK does decide to sack off. But to be honest, this is so catastrophic. The UK probably doesn't even need to risk themselves because, yeah, like I said, that's an entire tank down the drain. That is evil dice, sure. Yeah, that's a pretty bad round. I did not need that. I need the I need some dice cord help here. A couple blessings will do. Yeah, that's absolutely awful dice right there. Okay, well. Yeah, this is going to be a very tough game to win. For sure. Alright, that's the end of Germany round 4. And I'll be back for Japan round 4. Alright. Japan round 4. 8 infantry, 1 artillery, and a transport for the United Kingdom here. Transport to Sea Zone 6. 5 infantry, 1 artillery to United Kingdom, 3 infantry to India. Took Algeria for free, took Norway and Northwestern for free. Yeah, moved into 6 to take Norway and position these planes in range of Moscow. I won't be surprised if the UK buys 2 fighters a turn for the rest of the, well, maybe for the rest of the game, just to sit here. Not really much I can do about any of this. Of course, stacked India. I've not even calced it, but it's pretty ludicrous to hit at this point anyway. Thinking of buying 4 fighters here. I'm going to abandon the Pacific. There's just no feasible way of holding this position in the ocean anymore. If I stay, I just get cornered off and isolated in the Japanese Sea and eventually die. I don't really like to do that. I want to escape to 35. The original plan when I did the first glance over this map was to try and stack 36 and block 48. Just to pressure 47 and continue this buy and see if I could try dead zone it, but realistically that's 4 carriers, 8 fighters in range. This one, these 3, 6 here. 7 fighters, I mean. Which is obscene, really is. Also, trying to stack 36 in range of this submarine and yeah, 6 fighters and a bomber. Considering I lost the carrier J1, how impactful this is, right? So I'm gonna sound like a broken record. That result on 61 has been so brutal. It is truly incredible the knock-on effect it's having right now. I can't really stack 36. I can only get 2 planes to defend my fleet. I need more than that. I want to save a hold. Can't do it. A brutal result, honestly. But Japan's been doomed to fail. But yeah, I think the best move will be for Japan to run to 35. There is an option for both allied members to try and air raid my fleet, but I do have 2 battleships still. So, you know, that's super costly. They go for it. I am forced to have carrier keep though, so the fighters will have to die first. Which would be unfortunate, of course. And also stack Borneo. I'm going to try and delay the island captures for as long as possible. It's like an 80... It's a 94 to hold. Sending 2 transports for 4 infantry, so it's 5 infantry total, 2 bombers, 2 fighters. And actually send this destroyer to go block the bombards. And try and delay Borneo capture and the East Indies capture for as long as possible. The only thing that matters now for Japan is just to delay the US gobbling up all the Japanese territory. That's literally it. As the Japan in KGFs, even in KGFs, I do like my aircraft buys with Japan. I'm going to be buying no infantry. I don't need them. There are no odds on Japan mainland, so I'm going to spend as many rounds as possible just buying aircraft. Because the aircraft will be valuable in the future for limiting the American fleet movement and wiping out any land units that get anywhere near my core Japanese territories. Because I'm going to run out of men on the mainland for sure. If the Americans and Russians push a little bit on the borders, I'm not going to have much to really defend myself. The plan will be to kill this destroyer. It has to die. That is it. I'm pretty sure there's nothing else to do. Unfortunately, these 2 subs that I bought are doomed to die. Yeah, I wish I realized that and converted that into a bomber instead, but whatever. They still have to chase them off. And there's always a chance I get another 2 kills sub-destroyers. At their best value, of course. Yeah, there's not really anywhere else for these guys to go. Yeah, they can't go here. The only safe spot is 62 and 63. So I guess I'll just split them. Alright, that's fine. Okay, so yeah, fighter here and here, 2 fighters here. At least this is not free. I always have the chance to get a hit back. But of course, if the US commit the battleship, it's redundant. So, yep. Yeah, it's pretty bad. I can't really push into Armway because what stops yeah, Germany does not have odds on Moscow, so Russia could actually just blitz the tank through. US captures Xinjiang and commits the fighters to wipe out the infantry. So I can only realistically move here or stay put. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, ideally run to here instead. So US does not have all the majority of their planes hitting this either. Yeah, I mean, I don't have any other choice. Because I might have to do this. I want to bring an infantry artillery for sure, but it's just whether or not I bring another 2 units onto the transports. Or I leave the remnants to help defend, because one is still forced to stay in Burma. That's why I'm worried about this air raid. Is whatever, if the US does do that, the UK will hit wherever I put the Japanese men. Ideally, I want the UK to go take French Indo. I do want the UK to... They just can't help themselves. They see the points, they want the income, they take it from the Americans. That's what I want. So no USIC placement at all here. So I'm kind of tempted to try and stack French Indo instead. I don't know if I can get away with moving anymore. I'm hoping he commits 1 tank to the cause here. I would hit this with the UK 100%. I would all in, but there's a mistake Allies could make here and let the UK to take this instead. Yeah. Yeah, I guess I just have to... I guess I can sack this transport off now. And go, I guess here? Yeah, I actually have that option now. Yeah, I'd hate for him to be successful here. In KJFs, the Allies need some dice, because it's super difficult to pull off. So I'm hoping he does fail this can opener. I really hope he does. I would hate to lose all this. Okay, so I'm looking several turns ahead here. There is a weird play that the US could just take Philippines and try and contest Kangsu now. Ultimately, let's say US gets a very good result and actually conquers by sacking a couple planes, killing these 2 infantry. I would be at 9 out of 10 for most of the game afterwards. And I would be forced to hold Karelia. Now, it might not seem that bad for the next couple Japan rounds, right? Because it doesn't matter if US builds an IC in Kangsu, any unit that he deploys gets air raided to oblivion. It's just whether or not the US is successful in Burma and then wipes out Yunnan, and then I really cannot contest this properly, because then the US wipe out the units that will try and defend and retake Kangsu. So if the US goes for that play, they will hold both VCs, which puts a lot of burden on Germany, which they can't really afford to have, because G7 they have to go for the Moscow strike, meaning that I have to abandon Karelia for the most part and somehow figure out how to stack France when I should be buying to prepare for G7. So now that I've thought about it, it seems that Philippines is the superior option to defend. Of course, it sucks for Borneo because Borneo has more recruit slots. It's more efficient for an IC placement. But I cannot risk. I don't think I can risk it. If he notices that move, that puts a ton of pressure on Germany. It could delay the timing. Holding this allows me to concentrate holding on Philippines or switch to Kangsu at some point safely. Four fighters. Yeah, I'm still worried about this US popping this, but there's nothing I can do about it, really. There's no way to actually send a German plane to block either. It doesn't work. Right, as long as the Germans are on SAC AA and the Japanese on SAC subs, bombers before fighters, it is very good with carrier keep. Yeah, good stuff. It's a shame. I wish I had one more so I could buy a further 4 fighters next round, but I'll probably buy 3 fighters and save the rest. Or buy 2 fighters and a bomber and save the rest for like 3 planes next round or something like that. Right. Yeah, so that is the end of Japan round 4, and I'll be back for Germany round 5. Right. Germany round 5. 3 fighters and a destroyer for the US here. Destroyer 2 fighters to Season 56 and a fighter to Western. Yeah, took Xinjiang for free. Took Borneo, no units lost. Killed the destroyer 2 transports in 48, no units lost. And killed my transport in 62, no units lost. Yeah, moved and stacked 47. There's been no block. I don't think the US could block me anyway, but no doubt I can't really touch this with what I have available. I'll check. But if I can't retake Borneo, it's for kind of pointless. That is 7 fighters, so super unlikely. Six more infantry for Russia. Blitzed Yakut and took West Russia 1-1, no units lost. So yeah, as previously established, I'll be following a G7 timing on Moscow, waiting for these infantry to arrive. G6 to attack G7. With that in mind, 4 infantry, 5 artilleries, and 2 tanks. As long as Berlin's safe, I can get away with this. I'm gonna take light. I'm gonna try and take 1-1 it. I'm pretty confident he will get a hit back, so can't really do anything about that. And yeah, I'll take Arch and West Russia. Blitz Transjordan. Blitz Persia, I guess, as well. Am I hitting this? Probably not. I don't even think G7's possible. There's just way too many allied planes in range. If he moves into 61, that's an extra 7 US fighters. That's brutal for sure. On Japan's turn, I'll make sure to air raid these land units so he can't attack East Indies or go after Kangsu. Yeah, I think I can get away with this buy. There is a little concern, you know, what if UK just alls in on a France stack? That's quite an awkward target to retake, because I would be forced to bring my planes down. Maybe, I don't know, unless I all in on Moscow and then deal with that later. I don't know. I'm kind of at the Allies' mercy here. I'm only hoping that he doesn't play the best moves. I don't know, is this too aggressive? Oh, I'm gonna have 10 infantry, 2 tanks, 5 fighters on this, so I'm hoping UK just moves into Baltic states and does something else. Yeah, I lost the fighter, didn't I? Round 1. Yeah, that was so brutal. Yeah, okay. Oh wow, yeah, that is true. Yeah, 1, 2. Okay, I'll do this instead. West Russia's far more important than Northwestern. So yeah, I'm gonna have 7 free, 2 tanks, 3 fighters. Yeah, that is a conscious decision to leave that empty. I'm not really sure what the UK was hoping to achieve with that. I would never consider hitting India in this situation. It's just not going to happen. Yeah, this is pretty much it. Yep, everything's strong. Good luck to the Germans. It's the definition of emotional support fighters right there. I'll definitely take it, of course, as Snake Eyes with the infantry. Oh, wow. Great stuff. I'll definitely take that. Let's see, yeah, sack the AAs off. Yeah, and just hold ground in Egypt. I don't know what I'm doing with... Oh, do I hold... Well, I kind of have to now. Yeah, I will hold ground. The idea is for Japan to pass through 17, so UK is required to sack one of their tanks to close off the canal. Because I want my fleet to apply a little bit of pressure to the Atlantic. That would pin some of the UK resources down back to Africa again, so... It's either that or I go to 33 and take French Madagascar, which is probably better, because it's super unlikely the Allies are going to get that back again. So if you plan to do a KJF, I think buying a fighter round 1 with Russia is completely fine. I am assuming a lot, of course. You know, I'm not assuming Germany gets diced early on either. I don't know. Maybe it in a KJF, more Russian planes. It works a little bit better, I think. Yeah, sack it off, no problem. Yeah, that's what it should have been last round if UK did not get incredible dice there, but yeah, it is what it is. Yeah, alright, well, in a KJF, the Axis should be having the AP lead anyway, but the gap really is not close. So this game is at least even. That is the end of Germany round 5, and they'll be back for Japan round 5. Right. Japan round 5. 7 infantry, 2 artilleries, and a fighter for the United Kingdom here. Fighter to Season 8. 2 artilleries, 4 infantry to the United Kingdom. 3 infantry to India. Captured Persia with a tank blitz. Took Libya for free. Took Finland for free. Baltic for free. France, no units lost. Took Northwestern, no units lost. Took Burma, no units lost. So a flawless round for the UK there. I'm actually a little surprised there's no UK. I was expecting this to be closed. So I do actually have the option to move into 17 now with the Japanese Navy. But I don't think I will. I think I'll go grab Madagascar. Because it's just super unlikely for the Allies to take that back without a significant commitment. Well, it'd be, yeah, like an out-of-place transport. Yeah, and I was no stacking of Burma either. Again, deliberately leaving Persia empty. I guess to preserve the units for the potential fall of Moscow, and UK does have some sort of power down here to hold off the German advance towards India, I guess. I was expecting a Burma stack. I'm not sure why that was ignored, but is what it is. So with the Japanese here, I'm just going to be buying air for the rest of the game. So Japan can actually do something in this game. Yeah, just buy aircraft in this situation. Probably going to ignore Burma. Because I actually want the UK to take French Indo. And the plan will be that I take the away from the UK income, UK takes away from Japan. So it would even out a little bit. But ultimately, UK owning this takes away a IC placement for the US in the future, right? Alright, so the only thing that matters this round is ensuring that both of these ground units die. That's literally the only thing that's important. If I fail to kill both, game continues to be heavy. Well, now I would say it gets into a stronger allied position, because then that just allows the US to sack their planes to take East Indies, right? So it is vital, 100% vital, that these 2 infantry die. Like, the bombers cannot miss. I cannot stress that enough. Yeah, I mean, I guess I should trade Burma, but I want the UK to take French Indo here with either the tank or infantry. Yeah, because even if I trade Burma and I take, US bomber can actually be used to clear the ground in Burma, and then UK wipes with three fighters and 4 tanks, whatever is sitting in Yunnan. The US can also sack their planes to hit Yunnan. I don't know why they would, but there's always an option. Yeah, so let's get on with it. Unlikely. So be it if the US get a double hit back here, but I also need to kill both infantry here. That is 100% vital. It's the only thing that matters this round. Okay. I'll definitely take that. I'm more than happy for that. I was expecting both bombers to die. I'm glad I keep one. Yeah, 40 income. 4 fighters next round. The plan is to put an infantry tank here. I'm hoping to bait the Russians to use their tank and 3 fighters to hit this. The prize is 1 fighter. So be it. Now, do I encourage Russia to hit this? I don't know if that can be helped. I might put some fighters there. Yeah. Yeah, unfortunately, there's nowhere for... that sub to go, unfortunately. Yeah, I'm very happy I pulled this off. This is a very good result. No kidding, that buys East Indies an extra turn. That buys French Indo from the US for an extra turn. It buys even Kangsu, like it just takes so much away from the US. That's ultimately what I'm gonna try and do here is any landing US make, new kit with aircraft, just kill all the land, just deny US any sort of presence on the continent. That's the only thing that matters. I think I want to do that. And then just leave the rest of the planes in Philippines. So the US get no ideas of trying to air raid for whatever reason that they would want to do that. Just defend myself completely. The only thing I'm concerned about is just air raiding Philippines. But 1, 2, 3, 4. If push comes to shove, I have 7 Japanese planes and a bomber to defend East Indies. And then I'll have 1, 2, 3, 3 fighters and a bomber with 4 infantry defending Philippines, right? The US would have to pick one. And they'd probably pick East Indies, maybe. Or they pick Philippines for a VC play. I might have mind-gamed myself with this decision to ignore Borneo instead of... to ignore Borneo and stack Philippines instead, but holding the VC, having the options to hold the VTs for as long as possible, I think there is some merit to that. Like I've previously established, G7 is when I'm going to be coming off of Karelia, to stack West Russia, so I'll be giving up the VC then. Right, and that potentially exposes 2 VCs to the Allies. And the US could contest Philippines and Kangsu. I want to hold on to the Japanese VCs until Germany gets that G7 attack going, right? Alright. Alrighty then. Get on with it. Alright, 40 more IPC, that's 4 more fighters that I intend on buying. Unless I do 3 bombers instead. I want to try and maintain Japan at this high income for as long as possible, so I can just churn out that aircraft, that Japanese aircraft that will provide me with so many options as Axis. It gives me so much flexibility despite losing the Pacific. I know it gives me options to send Japanese planes to Europe to shut down the UK for a couple turns, or what I'm probably most likely going to do be used to completely just to pin down the American planes, pin them down as much as possible, so the Allies keep their fighters away from Moscow, right? But yeah, the Allies are catching up in AP. So yes, that is the end of Japan round 5. I'll be back for Germany round 5. Alright, Germany round 6. 2 more fighters and an industry for the US here. Industry for Borneo, of course. 2 fighters to 56. Took New Guinea, no units lost. Attack my sub submerged. I guess he's going to just leave that there to keep checking my profile every turn. Yeah, sent a bunch of fighters to Anglo-Egyptian Sudan. Yeah, interesting. I think the plan will be for Japan to move into 17 and offer the US to hit my fleet. And defend Egypt at the same time. To pull this off, I must block Persia. Yeah, I think that's fine. If like I will, yeah. So the fleet attack, if the US want to kill my fleet, without any planes defending, I have a 67 to hold. With 1 IPC attacker loss for the attacker, so it's pretty much an IPC neutral. But the way I see it, if the US want to trade their planes for my boats, I'm happy with that. That's less defenders for Moscow in the future. So yeah, Allies have, well, the US will have a 32.8 to win the battle. On average, I'll have a battleship left. Then India, I'm actually tempted to leave it as a 50-50. I can put the Japanese infantry artillery, so I have 4 infantry, 2 artillery, a tank, and I can add an extra plane. It's a 51.3 for the US to wipe, or to win the battle. A 3% to conquer without sacking a plane. But a -15 IPC attacker profit. So I'm actually tempted. Because these units cannot participate on Moscow timing. The Japanese planes can't. But the US planes can. So if the US planes get wiped out, less defenders for Moscow yet again, right? 6 infantry for Russia. Of course, all into Moscow. Took back West Russia, losing an infantry. Took Archangel, no units lost. Another 1-to-1 again. I do try these often. I've tried them many times in ranked and league, and it just never works out for me. So it's really frustrating seeing it work out for other people. I do it as allies, right? I do it on UK turns because I'm normally in a position to just take the territory after with the US or Russia afterwards. But yeah, I see players do it as Axis. I'm thinking, you know, very confident in their dice rolls to do that, I think. Alright, so the initial plan was to do a G7 timing. Now, assuming I've calculated this correctly, and I think I have, a G7 Moscow attack, assuming I've done it. Yeah, assuming I've calculated this correctly, which I'm pretty sure I have, it's a 50-50. Which assumes that all allied planes fly in, plus this Russian. Yeah, all allied planes in range fly there that turn. It is a -31 attacker profit for Germany, a 44.4 to win the battle. I can't go for that. Yeah, I can't really go off for that. The problem with the build is that it cedes a lot of territory to the UK on that turn. I cannot afford that. I need to build up Berlin stack. I need to try and trade as minimally as I can in this area. I'm going to commit 3 dudes, because France is mandatory to take back. I'll commit 1 to Baltic and pray that, you know, I get lucky with a 1-to-1. And take West Russia back. I'm actually going to... I don't know whether I should kill this Archangel unit. Probably not. Like... I should ideally try. But I only have 5 aircraft as Germany. So I'm going to have to prop up for a G8. I'll see on G8 what that gets me. I'll see on G9. But if the US really want to, they can just chain fighters to India and just keep flooding the center of the board with fighters. It's not really much I can do. While he slowly just takes all this territory. So with that in mind, I'm going to do 8 infantry, 3 artillery, 2 tanks. Yeah, just keep building up that artillery count in the Caucasus. That's pretty much it. I can't do it. I have to retain as many units as I can. I'm holding this. Oh wow, yeah, I've got to make sure I take that. Japan will kill the American unit. I need Japan to like help clear this up. Yeah, there's a lot of problems. He's got 3 transports, so he can spread to 1, 2, 3 territories if he insists. Yeah, I'm gonna have to see on Japan's turn if trying to defend East Indies and Philippines at the same time would be a good call. If not, I'm just gonna keep hard stacking Philippines and keep most of my ground in Anhui to ensure that Kangsu is always tradable. Yeah, I'm pretty concerned. I do hope the UK does take this. I hope the opportunity is just too much to pass for the UK. I really need the UK to take French Indochina here, and not the US. All right, good luck to the Germans. We finish it off. Nope. I need the unit to die, please. Oh, don't do this to me. Wow, unbelievable. Yeah, seems about right. Man, like, the UK's been it's been getting away with so much. Yeah, that's so stupid. Yeah. I assume UK will take Bello, because then I'm forced to trade using Karelia units. So daft. Yeah. That's the dice for you. Yeah. Well, I can't blitz my tanks across here, so they're just going to have to sit here. If Russia wants to air raid my tanks, so be it. Okay, so yeah, Japan Navy here. I think I will commit to this. Help. Yeah, so that's blocked. So I have the opportunity to move in here. All good. Japan will kill. I might sack the fighter to kill this infantry. I don't think it's that vital just yet. That sort of move would be useful when I'm going in. Alright, so I'm going to work out how much defense I need for both of these territories. Interesting stuff here. So Berlin is a 76 to hold currently. So 3 artilleries of 1 infantry will be here, 2 infantry to Karelia. So I have 5 and 2, which makes it 11, 2, and 2 fighters. If I'm being honest, I do think this game's Allied favored. So I might be tempted to offer this, because what that will do is preserve the German income if UK fail, right? If UK fail, then I get respite for a turn, right? At 22, I mean, it's a 22%, 22.8% for us to win the game, essentially. Yeah. I don't know, I might opt for that. I'm gonna calculate these two still. So I mean, I have time. As much as it pains me to delay over and over again, I actually think, yeah, this is fine. There's no point risking that. There's no point offering that. Karelia is very safe. It's overstacked because I don't want the UK nuking themselves on it. Okay. Well, just adding an additional fighter to Berlin makes it a 90%. If UK wants to take an 8%, be my guest, right? Yeah, the time I trade Archangel is when I'm actually successful in my trades here. Because I have 4 planes, so I'm very limited. If the France stack has too many units, I have to overcommit my planes there. So I want, yeah, sack AA, just sack it all off, it doesn't matter. Yeah, that's only +9. Yeah. Yeah, +9 and a KJF is concerning, really is. Alright, well, that's the end of Germany round 6, and I'll be back for Japan round 6. Alright, Japan round 6. 8 infantry with a fighter, transport and artillery for the United Kingdom here. 3 infantry to India. 5 infantry, 1 artillery to the UK. Transport to Sea Zone 6. Fighter to Sea Zone 8. Took Belarusia for free. Took Yunnan for free. Took French Indochina Thailand for free. Took back France, no units lost. And then failed Persia, losing an infantry. I'll take that. I'll also take that UK took French Indochina. That's a mistake. Because the US ideally wants to take that eventually. You know, for a possible IC in the future. But now the UK owns it. They will own it for the rest of the game. So I will definitely take that. The US can do without it, but ideally the US do need it. The more efficient IC buys, right, and placements. Alright, so yeah, this is an interesting buy, the transport. The only reason I can think is to threaten the VC play. Allies might go for a VC win. Because technically all the US needs to do is take take Kangsu at some point. On their turn, and they just end the game, right, if I don't stack it. So I can expect this transport to move down to 13 to threaten Italy. Because in a scenario where I'm going to go for a timing on Moscow, I will be abandoning Karelia, right? The UK will take Karelia, France, Italy, getting them to 9 out of 10, and then the US would have to figure out how to take Kangsu, Philippines, or Tokyo, right? Which is fine. I don't mind them going for it because my Japanese Navy are actually going to go into the Med this turn. So unless the US actually deal with my fleet, I will be able to use this fleet to defend Italy for me, instead of leaving units behind to hold it. So with the Japanese here, 4 more fighters. 4 more fighters, yeah. On a good day, I will get 34 income. I'm guaranteed a Venki here. So that's another 3 fighters next round. I'm going to hit Yunnan and Kazakh here. Yep. Happy with that. This spy is completely fine. I'm actually going to leave US a 10% chance to take Japan. Yeah, 10% for 10.4% for US to conquer next turn on their turn here, and an 88.12 hold minus 38.8 attacker profit. On average, I'll have 4 fighters left. I am more than happy for that. Same with Philippines, another 10%. I am more than happy with that. And I'm actually going to offer the US a 36, I think. Let me bring out the calculation. Yeah, a 32 to wipe my fleet, and then a 50-50, 51% for the US to wipe out Egypt. I tried testing the Allies' risk tolerance here with this battle. Russia had an 88% to wipe on their turn, but they did not go for it. I don't think as allies I'd go for it anyway. I was just seeing what I could get away with. So yeah, we're just trying to take Yunnan here. And Kazakh. I will, yeah, help defend Egypt and move my navy into 17. Oh, I want to take this as well. That is a good point. I don't know where I'm moving my units, though. I don't mind just blitzing this territory. Just where am I going afterwards? If I put the tank here, I think I want to try and hold this, right? There's a slight problem with this. UK could hit it with 4 tanks, 3 fighters. I would have an infantry, 2 artillery, a tank, and 3 planes, 3 fighters. Yeah, I don't like this. These tanks here. The blitz potential is just too strong. Even if Japan conquers Yunnan, it's still in danger. I actually don't think I could put my planes there. No. I do want to pressure Novo here. What if I put an infantry artillery tank here? Bring the artillery back to Kangsu. I might move one guy up and move one guy back. Could work. If UK takes Kwangtung, I might actually leave it. I'm not too sure. I might have to trade it because I might be ceding too much. Yeah, I think I'm going to just push forward into Xinjiang here with the tank. I'm going to offer Russia to wipe out Xinjiang with the tank-free planes. Just to have the potential to take any defenders away from Moscow. Yeah, bring the artillery up. I'm gonna stack 3 planes here. Because they have nowhere else to go. I don't really want do offer that. I need to keep pressure on Kangsu. I'm gonna bring a dude down. Yeah, I don't mind doing this. I'm just I mean, if UK push into Yunnan, I have to make sure Anhui is stacked. From a UK air attack, air and tank attack, pretty much. But yeah, I think this will be it, right? Good luck to Japan. Wow, very nice. Okay. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, so the fleet will move into 17 here. Move all these guys into position. I mean, that's pretty good. So yeah, I'm just moving all this in range of 61. So that is like Omega dead zoned, right? That would require like all these planes to come back if he insists on going into 61 to trade Hangzhou and or Kwangtung. There is a concern US could take Kwangtung and then UK defends it. That would be pretty bad. Don't really have much choice because this did fail. Yeah, I suppose they could ignore East Indies and move into 61 to pressure the VC even harder. But whatever happens with Kangsu or even Kwangtung, I would most likely hit it with everything I have. Yeah, I've got 13 fighters, 14 fighters, 2 bombers, 3 ground. Yeah, that's like, if it is worth clearing this, at the very least, I'd be able to defend Kangsu. Yeah, it's just eliminating these American units. I do hope he just goes down here instead. Yeah, I think that's it. I think that's a fine defensive position for Japan. I don't really have many options anyway. But yeah. Moving here to apply some pressure to Nova. I might threaten to trade these just to help Germany a little bit. If Russia like commits units to trade against Japan, that's less units defending Moscow at the end of the day. Yeah, I think I'm happy with this. Do I move backwards? Do I move this guy down as well? I might actually have to do that. I don't... Like, if Russia trades this, that's one less dude defending still. So, I don't mind if he moves up. I think I'm actually going to do that. I think I want just to concentrate my men in the center of China here. Okay, yeah, so that's the fleet. If he wants to hit that, that's fine. If he wants to hit Egypt, that's fine. It trades down his defensive units for Moscow. So yeah, 33 more income. So that's 2 fighters and a bomber if I really want, with 1 to spare. Alright, up to the US here. It's the end of Japan in round 6. And I'll be back for Germany round 7. Alright. Germany round 7. US built 4 infantry, 2 fighters, 1 bomber, 1 destroyer. 2 destroyers, 1 destroyer, 2 fighters to Sea Zone 56, bomber to Eastern, 4 infantry to Borneo. Took East Indies, losing an infantry. And stacked both 37 and 47. Yep. So I did notice the US eye up Egypt, but as you can see, they did not go for it in the end, which is fair enough. They don't have to take any risks, right? This is definitely an Allied favored game, I would say. Yeah, especially with the US having 2 islands now, and my odds on Moscow are like nowhere near good enough. The timing here. Yeah, I'm not seeing the path to victory here at all in this game anymore. Like I can. Let's get on with Russia's turn first before I get on with that. Yeah, 6 infantry, all into Moscow. Yeah, it took West Russia, losing infantry, and failed at Venki. So yeah, Japan will kill this Archangel unit. Help, I guess. But if we can just have a look at what Germany can buy this round, it's... my hopes are not very high at all. The German economy's been messed up too much by the UK. If I go for a... the only feasible buy is 4 infantry, 2 bombers. 4 infantry for the Caucasus, and I'll try and hold both at the same time. If that's even feasible, I've not even tried calculating it yet, because I just don't see... The cost of this buy is too much for Germany. Because essentially it leaves Berlin under the complete threat of the UK, right? Because I'm forced to trade France every turn, otherwise that's an extra 4 ground, plus... yeah, the UK can just unload 10 more guys to hit Berlin. It has 4 fighters. Like the Allies are, well, ever since, yeah, I mean, ever since the UK got the fleet up round 2, which I couldn't really stop. Yeah, it's UK trading round 1, right? Is that what happened? Yeah, for trading France round 1. Yeah, it's just been too much because Germany, despite the hammering they took in the Caucasus, Germany had to carry and push forward as much as they could. So there was no time for a France stack. There was no time for any delay, right? Yeah, I'm not seeing it. I will continue to play. This is a pitiful buy from the Germans here. Absolutely pitiful. Too much has gone wrong. Yeah, like I can delay a Philippines capture, but the second I see up and running, I don't know, maybe my opinion will change in the next couple of rounds, but see, if I go with the 4 infantry 2 bomber buy, I have a 75% to win Moscow, assuming Allies send everything. But the problem with that is that I've just said Berlin's exposed, right? That's because my fighters would have to be in Ukraine or even Poland to be in range of Russia, because it includes everything that I have going at it. It's too much. I can't get away with it. So yes, the US moved into 37 and heavily dead zoning Egypt. It's not even worth trying to hold Egypt anymore. I'm just gonna have Germany march through back North Africa. which will be stopped swiftly because the UK obviously predicted this, I assume, and is going to chuck some more units into North Africa to deal with this. I have to say, I mean, yeah, this is essentially perfect Allies play. No risk taking whatsoever, and just slowly eating everything up. I'm not sure if they're calculating my odds on an all-in, but the previous round was a 50-50. It has gone up by 18%, so maybe there's a chance next round, assuming that no US fighters enter anywhere near Moscow. I might have a chance. I might actually have a chance round 9. Round 9 timing, but round 9 and not even having close to 90% odds is very concerning if the US have 2 islands already. It's pretty dire. Well, without further ado, I'm just going to buy every man I can. Don't have a lot of choice, to be honest. Yeah, just send every plane at France. It has to trade. I have to take it. I guess I don't have to. I need to trade this as well. I'm going to commit 2 tanks here. And an infantry. I can blitz. I can... I guess this has to work, right? Yeah, that's all I really got. All in here. I don't really care if the UK hits this target. Yeah, they can do that if they want to waste their planes. But I have to move. Alright, yep. Good luck to the Germans. Ouch. Alright, okay. Yeah, that's probably too much. I think it's just too much. Yeah, and there's just complete misses here. Okay. Wow, I failed France take for the 2nd time. That's brutal. That's so unforgiving. It's so unforgiving. Oh, that feels bad. Man, that's some brutal dice. Yeah, I mean, it's stuff like that. Japan cannot hold on forever. That's the thing, right? Like this. I mean, you have to laugh at it, right? It's brutal. The dice could be absolutely brutal sometimes. I might be tempted to offer Russia like a 30% on the Caucasus at this rate. I'm getting pretty desperate. I might. Yeah, I'm probably not even going to add anything to this besides the infantry. And just send these tanks here, probably. I'll calculate it, but yeah, this is pretty bad from Germany. Alright, so I'm going to pull several tanks from here. I'm going to make this impossible odds to hit, just to stop any UK suicide attack to ruin my odds. Like, if UK hits it, they will pay dearly for it. So it's an impossible battle for the UK to win. So I'm hoping that my dice just completely... If he goes for it, then I need the UK to get completely knackered as much as possible to preserve as many units as possible. Russia has like a 10% on the Caucasus. They can go for it. It seems ludicrous to me to hit that as Russia. So yeah, I could probably get away with leaving like a 30% if I wanted to. But there's no need for that. There is no need. Yeah, so I mean, the German look at this nonsense. 38 income for Germany. It's just not feasible to take Moscow at this rate. Oh well. Let's just have a quick look at Berlin, shall we? 5 and 5 with 2. That's 4 fighters. I'm going to have. I mean, I should have enough defenders there. I don't have to worry about it. 2 and 2. It's 9 left. So plus 7s. Yeah, that's more than enough defenders. They shouldn't have to worry about that. They can knock himself out hitting that. Sure. Yeah, but at least Libya was flawless, I guess. That's brutal. It really is. Alright, well, I'll check my odds round 8 to go for a round 9 timing instead, but it's looking pretty bleak with these results. Yeah, 15 and 3 should be more than enough to withstand any UK attack. Don't think I have to worry about it. So yeah. Yeah, look at that. Pitiful. I mean, in KJFs, the Axis should have the lead. They should have the AP lead, but yeah, I think too much has gone wrong. Alright, that is the end of Germany round 7, and I'll be back for Japan round 7. Alright. Japan round 7. 6 infantry, 2 fighters, 2 artilleries for the United Kingdom here. 3 infantry to India, 2 and 3 to United Kingdom, and 2 fighters to Zone 6. Tank blitzed Malaya. Took Kwangtung and Szechuan and Persia for free. Stacked Yunnan. And sent a bunch of planes to Moscow. So, with the situation, I'm probably going to go for a G9 timing and hit it no matter the odds. This is not sustainable for the Axis here. Yeah, I think Germany failing too many trades has really killed my my timing previously, so I'm going to have to try and go all in. G9, I think. I'll see what it is on G8, but it's very unlikely. Russia has to only succeed West Russia trade. They would have to fail it for me to even have an odd with these tanks in range. So yeah, I'm probably going to figure out how to stack both West Russia and the Caucasus. Buy mass bombers. I have 15 men home now. So that should be enough units to withstand the UK onslaught. UK 8, right? Yeah, this is not sustainable. Yeah. 2 fighters and a bomber for Japan. I'm actually going to trade France here. Because it takes away an attacker on Berlin. So I should be able to send all my planes towards Moscow, right? It stops the need for me to having to trade and have to commit 2 of my men to guarantee the trade. So yeah, I think that's fine. I'm going to take Ivanki, Vlogda I mean. I'll take Novo. I'm going to air raid this unit. The reason for it is to kill the unit, of course, so it's not involved on G9 when I do go in. I'm not using the infantry to take the hit. I'm not going to use the tank either. Because I want to force Russia to attack these to regain the territory, right? It would potentially cost men to take these back. I'm going to hit Szechuan and Kwangtung. Kwangtung, I'm not bothered if he gets a hit back. If this stays UK, that's fine with me. I'd be more than happy with that. Because the overarching problem that's clearly arising here is if the US move into 61 and stack Kangsu, and then the UK supports with their tanks and their fighters. So that's another reason why I want to threaten G9, because it might force the UK to give better odds to Germany if they want to ensure a Kangsu stack that is US owned, right, instead of the UK. But whatever happens, whatever he sends here, I am forced to hit it no matter what to try and really conquer. So I'm trying to preserve these men and stack on way. Yeah. I might actually have to sack my planes. I might have to change my doctrine to have it so that if the UK engages Onway with the tank and fighters, that I have it so that my air die first, and then hit Hangzhou after, just to reconquer it for one more turn. I'm actually going to be tempted to leave these two fighters exposed to the UK as well. In Xinjiang, because anywhere that I can pick away at the Allied Defense Force of Moscow, Japan's doing its job. Alright, so all battles are listed as strong. Good luck to Japan. That's awful. That's super unfortunate. I did not need that. Wow, bringing out the dice for the Japanese here, that's for sure. Okay, I'm fine with the Kwangtung result. Yeah, but Szechuan was a bit stupid, that result. So, I need to leave. 2 fighters there, send the other 2 here. And the sub into the fleet to be annoying. Yeah, bring the rest of the fleet across. I'll leave a note so that I can change it on Germany's turn. Yeah, that's a pretty strong. If he's gonna move the planes there anyway, it might be worth UK attacking this spot to kill my ground. Yeah, I physically cannot retake it. Yeah, I'll have to. I'll have to sacrifice my fighters, definitely, 100%. If US wants to hit Philippines, it's a 20%. Japan, they have like a 3%, if I'm not mistaken. 6% even, so. Non-submerged, that's fine. Bombers before the fighters, that is completely fine. Yeah, just one short of 3 fighters, because this failed. Yeah, but you can see the Allies already have the lead now. Yeah, it's getting too much. I have to pray that the Allies mess up on their placements of fighters, but I'm pretty sure if the US move into 61 here with all their navy, that's 8 US fighters in range. Like, it's the game is over if the US move there, but I don't really have much choice but to hit it still. So yeah, that's the end of Japan round 7, and I'll be back with Germany round 8. Alright. Germany round 8. 4 bombers for the US. I assume to completely strap bomb Berlin to the ground. Unless to sink the Japanese fleet, I guess. Yeah, US took Formosa. Kangsu. French Madagascar. Egypt. Transjordan for free. Killed my sub in 47. And then failed Kazakh. Yep. Moved the fleet into 61. Okay, so the Russians bought 4 more infantry. And got diced, but doesn't matter. I can't take advantage of this. It's like a 95% to hold, even with all these tanks in range. So I'm gonna do the next best thing. Yeah, hit a lone infantry. Well, 2 infantry killed an infantry artillery fighter, and then he also failed Vologda as well. So yeah, it's a very good result, but it's a little too late. My best odds on Moscow G9 is a 3.3%. That is all I have. It's the odds will never improve, so I'm gonna have to take it. The only thing I can do is to increase my odds further. Is Japan hitting this fleet and killing these fighters? Yes. The US took Formosa, but I could still carry a drop and get these 2 fighters in range. Yeah. The plan will be to blitz a German tank here to block the UK tank from hitting these fighters. So he's forced to air-on-air combat the area. Yeah. Or if he wants to protect Kangsu, he would have to hit it from here instead with the fighters. I was going to change my defensive profile to protect the ground, but considering I'm going to hit 61 here, this is a 50-50. 50-50. 2 subs. Let me bring out the calc. 2 submarines, 15 fighters, and 3 bombers. It's exactly 20 on 20, excluding the transports. So I will be taking that. The battle is profitable on average. So yeah. The game will be over by round 9. I'm hitting this no matter the odds, and praying that I get lucky. Yeah. With that in mind, 4 infantry for the Caucasus and 2 bombers. I'm just gonna stack West Russia. I can't really see how I'm gonna stack both because Russia can strafe 1 target and then be reinforced by the Allied fighters. So there's absolutely no point in offering just for that potential, right, of a very easy strafe. My Japanese planes are assigned to kill this fleet. If I wasn't going to hit the fleet, I would actually send these planes, these 6 of them, to help defend. But no, I'm going for this 50-50. I'm going for the 3% on Moscow. I have no other choice, so. Yep. Incorrect. Go. Yeah, I'm actually gonna do this. It ruins my odds slightly, but it's what it is, right? I want to go for this 50. I just want to hit the fleet. it's a 50-50. Yeah, I'll take it. If UK does not kill the tank can hit Moscow still, right? If it's not blocked. If UK move in, Japan can attempt to clear it with the infantry tank, and I can still hit the fleet and still hit Kangsu. So yeah. Northwestern, just going to ignore it. I'm just going to stack everything in West Russia and go for Moscow. That's literally it. So yeah. Yeah, like, no real hope, to be honest. Yeah, there's no VC threat, so I'm not worried about that. If UK wants to try hit Berlin, let's see what his odds are. What's this? It was assault. 4, 2, 4. 4. If he wins Berlin, then I'll just forfeit. So, yeah, 15 guys. He has a 36% to take Germany. If he wants to take Berlin, be my guest. Yeah. That is pretty much it. There's a chance you can get diced here, so. Yep. Yeah, I'm not gonna do this anymore. I'm not changing the DP anymore. It's unfortunate about this, but I can't stop that. Yeah, and I want to kill that fleet, 100%. Okay. Actually, the odds aren't that good. I actually have bombers in range. So yeah, it's 22 to take Berlin. So be it. The game's already too Allied favored to really care about that now. Yeah, what's my DP? Yeah, sack it off, doesn't matter anymore. It's the end of Germany round 8, and I'll be back with Japan round 8. Alright. Japan round 8. This turn took the piss a little bit. 7 infantry, 2 artillery, a fighter and a tank. The game is already so allied favoured and that's just getting nothing back from the dice. Fighter, tank, infantry to India, yep. 6 infantry, 2 artillery to United Kingdom, yep. Stacked, Finland and Persia. Yep. So, yeah, took Kazakh for 3. Took Karelia for 3. Killed the tank in Szechuan, no hits. Took France, no hits. And then air raided my 2 fighters in... what place is that? Xinjiang. Yeah, Xinjiang. Yep. No units lost, by the way. I watched the combat. Double 6. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. That was an opportunity to burn some of the UK fighters defending Moscow for the G9, and the dice just spat all over me. It's so insulting, and the thing is, it takes 2 attackers away from 61, which I will still be hitting, by the way. I'm still going to hit this, and I'm just going to all in this, and yeah. I have no choice, really. I've already committed. This fleet has nothing to do, like... I guess I will move it to 9. Just to threaten the fleet. If the US wants to waste their bombers killing my fleet, so be it. So yeah, very bad round for Japan. Very good round for the UK. So yeah, the buy will be 2 fighters. I refuse to buy any ground. This fighter will try and clear this, and yep, just gonna hit the fleet. Take back Kengsu. So yeah, those 2 fighters were vital for the 50-50 here. But I can only hope that I have enough units to kill all of the US planes. So the US can only reinforce with 2 more planes, and not 2 plus whatever survives, right? Yeah, that's it. I'm hoping these 2 planes sacrificed allow me to kill all these planes. Yeah, right. Oh yeah, another thing. If this fails, they have a good chance to take Philippines on their turn. So yeah, the lot's just riding on a success here. Yeah, with the 2 infantry and yeah, just 2 bombards, it might be enough to kill the 4 if he's lucky enough. So yeah, good luck to Japan. Time for my dice to finally shine. Okay. Okay, I need, oh wow, okay, well, at least I can't hit the subs this turn. Bombers, excellent misses there. I'm gonna go in and kill these fighters. Yeah. Of course, I need to take Kangsu back. That is, that's another thing. Okay, good stuff. Block that tank, blitz, and the infantry will move down, I guess. This fleet will come to 9 because it has nothing else to do except threaten the UK fleet. If US does not kill it, I'm just going to throw it at the UK fleet. And yeah, that's it. So yeah, it's not possible for the US to take both Kangsu and Philippines this round. Yeah, it just isn't viable at all. Yep. Yeah, I think I'm happy with that because look at that, Formosa. The fighter landed in Formosa. Look at that. A blessing. I don't think it matters. I don't think my odds are very good anyway. I'm not going to calculate. I'm just going to hit it. But yeah, look at that. The fighter landed there because there are more units in Formosa than Kwangtung or Yunnan, right? That's funny. I mean, technically, I could have just backed off as soon as the carriers died. It is what it is, right? It's unlikely for the US to take Philippines off my hands anyway. After this round, most likely, I think. We'll see. Yeah, but there you go. Outstanding. AP there difference. Yeah, it's truly amazing. Yeah, that is the end of Japan round 8, and I'll be back for the finale of Germany round 9, most likely. Alright. Germany round 9. So this will be the round where I'm hitting Moscow no matter the odds. Okay. Now, bearing in mind, it is very obvious I'm going for a Moscow timing. And I have calculated. I have the calculation here. Surprisingly, I have a 37.4%. I don't know where that came from. So that battle on 61 mattered. 100% it mattered. So I'm glad for that result. What breaks my mind is the nonchalant attacks the Allies are doing when they should be trying to defend Moscow with everything they have, right? To reduce my odds on the timing. So yeah, UK air raids two of my I mean, you have to laugh at it. Two of my Japanese planes in Sinkang that weren't doing anything. It would only get me more value if he attacks me and takes losses, because it's less defenders for Moscow. If I got 2 hitbacks from those 2 fighters, the game, I would have had a 61.9. I would have a 62% on Moscow. Right? Like, it's just the nonchalant attacks, right? In my opinion, when you're ahead, you shouldn't need to take risks, right? It's kind of boring, but here the Allies' risks are being paid off well and truly in this game. So the US here bought 4 bombers. I'm not sure what's happening with these bombers. I assume just to bomb Berlin to the ground. Nothing I can do about it at all. So. And plus, bombers do excel pretty well late game, and they're super strong late game, right? So yeah, I think the US has so much freedom to do what it wants anyway. It's not the right round, is it? No, it's not. 3 bombers, I mean. 4 ground for Borneo. Here we are. Bombs Germany for 5. Yeah. Took Manchuria and then split the 2 dudes from Formosa. And took Kangsu, killing the tank, no units lost. It's like... I don't know. I've taken many of these battles in the past and they've just blown up in my face so many times. And then proceeded to attack the Caucasus and only lost the tank and a bomber. So, I mean, that was another opportunity for me to get crazy dice, right? And get a fighter or something. Of course, that did not happen. Yeah, 4 infantry for the Russians, of course. Into Moscow. Yeah, Blitzverlogda took the Caucasus, so expending 1 man, moving it from the defense to go take Moscow, and then attacked Kazakh. No units lost. Expending a unit from the defense, right? In my opinion, these are unnecessary moves. Because at the end of the day, I could potentially win this. I don't expect to at all. Right? But every man should count, right? Yeah, let's just get max ground, whatever. Yeah, I'm surprised I have these odds, if I'm going to be honest. Allies just refuse to take Libya for some reason. I'm not sure why. But it doesn't matter though. So yeah, I've not miscalculated this. Yeah, 32, 13, 20, 4 and 2. Yeah, 47, 2 AA guns, 3 artillery, a tank, 15 fighters. Yep, that is it. That's all there is. Like, I need a miracle result, like a top 1% conquer result. Because there's just so many allied ground from the UK. It's just too much for Germany to take on. So be it. Good luck to the Germans. Hey, okay. Yeah, the dice need to be a lot better than that. Yeah, that's 100% GG, whatever. Yeah, that was a crushing hit from the second round there. Look at this. Holy, man. Yeah. Yeah, whatever. So, I will calculate the odd he got. So, the average is 6 fighters left. So that's a good sign. That's already a good sign. Okay, yeah, so... Yeah, that is a top 32% result. Yeah, that's the game. Alright, yeah, so I will be forfeiting here. There's no point playing around with this anymore. I tried. I really did try, trust me. Alright, yes, that is the end of the game here. GG and well played to IVYSHY here. Formed a very well organized KJF carrier rush. Yeah, I've only seen that a couple times, and yeah, I like to do it myself sometimes. So, yeah, very well played. To start off here, Russia round 1. Very interesting by, 3 infantry, artillery, and a fighter. Normally, I would say that a fighter by round 1 is weak. In my opinion, I find it to be weak. When I play the Axis, I feel very comfortable with Axis playing against a Russia 1 purchase of a fighter, because it allows Germany to outreach further. For example, hitting the Caucasus or hitting West Russia, right? If I was being more passive, a much easier Ukraine stack, a much easier Karelia stack. Like the 4 infantry, 2 tanks is very solid. It's very solid meta buy, which helps counteract the German forward pressure, because Germany has so much material up forward in Russia's face already, that the 9-12 standard attack is literally one of the only safest attacks Russia can do to protect itself from all the German material barreling down on it straight away. So, yes, I would say this buy is just weaker, especially after this round 1 from Russia. Failing Ukraine, that is catastrophic. And then I think that's an average West Russia, losing 3. So really, Germany won. I had so many options, and I chose to hit the Caucasus. Tank rush hit the Caucasus. Got completely diced. Like, it went from a heavily Axis favored game to probably about equal, maybe even slightly Allied favored because of this. Because the German momentum completely stopped there. There were moves I could have made to keep pushing forward Germany, but the Allies went for a AJF, so I didn't have the Japanese fighters freed up. Yeah, that was a. Let me go find the result of that. So yeah, the battle was a 93% for the Caucasus. Yeah, 2 tanks, 2 fighters, infantry, artillery, battleship, bombard. I got 0 hits. And the AA gun shot a plane down. So for a one round strafe, because that's what it turned out to be, because I had to retreat. That was a top 1% defensive result for Russia, and a bottom 32% for Germany on the attack. So that was absolutely brutal. But moving on. Yeah, so the fact I did point out in my notes here that the fact that Russia suffered 0 losses in the Caucasus, it actually supported and really did strengthen that Russia won by. Like, that really excelled after this insane result. J1. I was just going to do a standard J3 timing, because the idea was, since I'm pressuring the Caucasus with Germany, this is like a center of the board play here. Germany goes for the Caucasus, Japan goes for India. It's very difficult for the Allies to hold both without giving one up. And in this game, I got the Caucasus. Yeah, Japan got diced against a cruiser. Now, the reason why I didn't full commit my navy to the battle was because I wanted to dead zone the Zone 45 move to increase my odds on the J3 India. But a cruiser got 3 hits in a row. It's lucky I actually got a hit, because potentially the cruiser could have killed everything. So it was a fighter battleship carrier against a cruiser. That for just the battleship to survive is a 0.27%. 0.27% chance. These are some crazy odds so early on. The Ukraine failure, the Caucasus, and Season 61. Like the game has been very dicey early on, but the Axis took the vast brunt of it. UK1 was perfect. I didn't make any notes on it, but I assume it went swimmingly. We skip ahead to G4. This was literally the term when I decided, G7 timing of Moscow. And this is the turn where France failed. Now, this took an entire tank away from the German production, or bonus artilleries, whatever you can really think of, really. Maybe an extra, maybe even a bomber, right? Catastrophic results. When calculating the G7 timing, it boosted my odds from like a 50-50 to like a 60-ish%, I think it was, something like that. It's been a while. And when it came to the very end, G9 timing, no doubt that tank would have had a significant effect on the outcome and percentage chance of conquering in the end. So yeah, brutal failure there. So yeah, it was a KGF from the Allies, and US were going for a carrier rush. Very good decision there. Very, very good decision for the US to go for a carrier rush here, considering the Season 61 result. Taking away one of my carriers and a fighter, which led to a lot of problems deciding where to stack my fleet in the future because I was down a carrier. Now, buying a carrier with Japan is more of a defensive buy because the carrier itself is inefficient. It's a very bad attacker. You're spending 14 IPC for an attack of 1 and a defense of 2. It's very inefficient. But the benefit of a carrier, of course, is 2 extra fighters to defend your fleet. That's the cost, right? That's the trade-off. Losing that carrier, round 1, brutal. I think I was trying to stack 36 one round in particular, but I had to give it up because it's too much aircraft to air raid my fleet. Just didn't have enough defenders. And then we skipped to not Season 5, Japan 5. I offered Russia an 80%. No, it was Arnway. I offered Russia an 80% to wipe Arnway with like an infantry tank fighter. But trying to bait to see the to try and see the risk tolerance of the Allies. But I stacked Szechuan at the same time, which is just counterintuitive. So that's just a blatant mistake by me. I should have stacked Kwangtung, I guess. That was the better option. So yeah, that was counterintuitive for what I was going for, but at least I preserved the income for Japan, I guess. G6. I delayed the G7 timing because the odds were only a 50-50 with a minus 40-ish IPC attacker profit. The battle itself would cede too much income and territory to the UK and actually exposed Berlin to the UK, which is just too much. J6 offered the US a 50-50. Well, the Axis offered a 50-50 on Egypt and a 30% on the J fleet. And to try and reduce the amount of defenders for the Moscow timing, G8 or G9 it was in the end. The US did eye up Season 17 but ignored it, which was the correct choice, 100%. The Allies were quite far ahead at this point in the game at G6. The Allies did not need to take any risk whatsoever. And now, yeah, I would continue to check odds on G8 and G9. Eventually went for the G9 because the game was just not good for the Axis at all. G7 failed France for the second time. Absolutely brutal. I did fail Baltic that other round. I think it was G6 or G5. And UK took Bello. UK got a lot away with a lot. Germany kept failing trades. And as you can see, that's the result. A very healthy stack in Finland and Persia, right? Even if I took Moscow, it's very unlikely Germany can win the game for the Axis. It's too many allied ground on the mainland here. G8, I actually made another mistake. I accidentally moved the AA gun out of the Caucasus. I don't know why I moved it. At this point, I wasn't really thinking, or... Yeah, I pretty much lost hope and was just praying that I just get ludicrous dice, insane dice on the take of Moscow. Yeah, I wasn't really thinking. I was just doing... I was hardly calculating properly as well. Yeah, I just didn't have any hope, to be honest. I should have left the AA gun there because the US did actually hit the Caucasus and got a good result for it. Losing no fighters. The J8 Navy battle. This could have been a mistake. I could have retreated as the carriers died. But leaving those planes alive might have allowed the US to clear Kangsu with planes defending it. And it would have allowed a much easier Philippines take. So, not sure that was a mistake. That was just a choice. And then an interesting thing I just noticed was the US actually could have won by VC. US 8 could have actually taken Italy if my eyes were not deceiving me when rewatching the recording. US had a transport in 36, 34, and I completely missed it. That is completely unlike me. That is not like me at all. Yeah, I suppose in the end I was just making small mistakes, which just add to the already very bad situation. But yes, US 8 could have taken Italy and Kangsu and just won the game and completely took away the option, the battle for me to even hit Moscow that turn. So yeah, that is that. So yeah, a very rough game for Axis. I felt like I was playing on the back foot the entire game, and it's very tough, especially as Axis, because you don't start with the economy lead at the beginning of the game. You start with the AP lead, and yeah, the rough start, playing off the back foot at the very start, is just very tough for any player to come back from when playing against a competent player, right? It really was tough. But Ivy played very well here. Very well executed KJF. Yeah. So yeah, GG and well played to Ivy here. But that'll be it. Thank you so much for watching. Appreciate your time. I'll catch you in the next one.